We're live.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Love and Marriage podcast. I am your host, Wendy O, well, your co-host. And this is Hotep Jesus. This is his channel. Thank you for having me on the show again, Hotep. Well, I'm the
No,
host.
you right. You had that right. You the hostess. You the hostess with the mostest. You had it right.
And I wanted to tell you, I went back and I listened to the ending of the last podcast where you gave me the compliment because my man he goes, "Did you hear Hotep compliment you?" And I go, no, I couldn't barely hear. And he's like, he said some really nice things. So go back and listen. So I did. So we wanted to say thank you very much. We appreciate it. I appreciate it too.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt, man. Hell yeah. Teamwork make the dream work, man.
Hell yeah. Hell
You
yeah.
know, hell yeah. I don't even remember what I said though. I was like, what I say?
Okay, let me tell you, last episode, I got a couple, like you saw that one clip that I got where you're like, I'm dropping bombs. So I pulled that one
Mhm,
because that shit was funny. And then
mhm.
I got a couple other ones that I'm gonna put too that are
Okay.
they're just really, really silly because I didn't want to cap because some of the stuff we talk about is a little bit it's human life and it needs to be spoken about, but it could be a little bit rough for a clip. And if people don't go back and if they don't watch the whole entire episode,
Yeah.
then they're going to be like, what are these crazy people talking about?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. No, yeah. Yeah, you take the wrong clip from Hotep Jesus, you be like, what the
Like,
fuck?
what is this man saying? But before we get started, how's the girl doing? How's she doing?
Mm, very well. Life is peachy. She's doing well. Life is well. Life is doing real good. Investor has committed. We got the letter of intent from the investor. So yeah. So life. We're rolling. We're rolling. Um, but yeah, it's. I got another meeting with my other partner. We got two AI companies.
Hmm.
So like I'm sprinting. I used I'm sprinting. I'm sprinting to the goal line. So that's where my mind's been. I seen you out there. Been a hot week for crypto.
God, yes. So I'm gonna drop a couple crypto things. So
Alright.
there is this. If anybody's watching and you guys don't know what cryptocurrency is, when you think of crypto, think of Bitcoin. And if you're brand new to crypto, do not invest in anything other than Bitcoin right now, just because the volatility, because Bitcoin is really your safest bet. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just spitting some facts to you. You're going to see a lot of stuff. The term DeFi, which is decentralized finance, you're going to hear the term yield farming. I fully don't grasp the concept of it because it's very complex. I covered some of it. Basically, yield farming is you lock a bunch of your coins up and people lend them out, but then you earn all this interest back. So there's a lot of meme tokens going around. So there was a pizza token and a hot dog token, a sushi token, a kimichi token, and some of these coins went, like, I want to say hot dog token went to $1,000. It pumped to $1,000 per coin, and then it dumped to $3 within 20 minutes.
You will get burnt out here.
So you want to get into crypto, you go to my channel and just get Bitcoin for now. Just focus on that. Don't focus on all this other stuff. Yeah, if you want to get some Ethereum, get some Ethereum. If you want to get some Link, but do not buy anything that has a food name, please.
What's up with McAfee? What's going on with him and his coin?
Um,
What's the latest?
I haven't really heard anything, so I think that they've just gone their separate ways. And McAfee was focused on anal beads this week, from what I saw.
Yo, he's the funniest billionaire in the world.
So yeah, and then so we started doing so outside of crypto, there's a lot of crypto stuff going on. My channel's doing really well because I go on my friend Bitboy, he has me go on his channel to drop some TA. So my channel's going well. I'll probably break 10K this week, and that's a big psychological number. So I'm hype about that. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited.
That's big. That's big.
That's big. It's and I because I've never bought. There's a lot of people in crypto. They buy followers, they buy engagements. I don't do none of that shit. Everything I built has been from me. And sometimes I look at my following and I'm like, why do these people follow me? I'm a mess. Like,
Yo, they need points of reference. They need points of reference. If you're a point of reference, it's helpful.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
So outside of crypto, we put the house has been on the market. We had the way the COVID is that people have to come. You can't do open houses anymore. You have to physically come into the house and schedule tours. So we had 13 tours yesterday. We are not there. We hired a real estate agent that normally does like Beverly Hills $1 million homes. He's a friend of a friend, and we're getting like the royalty treatment. I love it because I don't have to deal with any of these MFers. I just push it off to them. And then today we had a bunch of listings or a bunch of viewers. And then on Friday and Saturday, we're going to have more. So we'll probably have about 40 families that are already approved, that know what's going on with the house, that are going to come view the house. In our neighborhood, in my city, there only or actually the vicinity that I'm in, my part of the neighborhood, there's only 2 houses on the market, mine and one that's $100,000 more than mine. So we have the market cornered for the most part. So I'm like, fingers crossed we get the bidding war. But the issue with that is because of COVID, you cannot evict anybody in Los Angeles County. So the amount of rentals that are available is literally like 5. There's not a lot of rentals, and we're looking for something particular. We want something. We'd like to get something with the pool. We would like to get like a 3 or 4 bedroom, because we currently have a 3 bedroom with 2 baths, and we could afford what the market has, for that price. But there's not very many available. It's a little scary.
They want to let you evict people in California?
No, because the reason why is when we're also going to talk about a law that was just passed in California on this show, and but I'm from what I'm hearing from my mother. My mom says that the CDC, I think it was a CDC, said that you can't evict people any longer. And a friend of mine had sent an article to me that said in San Francisco, landlords are actually selling their rental properties because people are not paying them anymore, and it's like it's not worth it for them to keep it.
Mm. Mm. Really? Mm. Tough game.
So I think we're not going to have a problem selling it. And literally, probably 30 minutes before I got on with you, we had a guy that came, because we had the appointments from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. today. He came at, or no, 10 to 3. He came at like 5:15, 6 o'clock, whatever it was. He's like, oh, can I see the house? I'm here with my family. I'm late. And my husband's like, no. He's like, are you sure? He's like, I have my family, but we drove all the way over here. He's like, no, it's not going to work right now. You need to go.
He was trying to break the line. He was trying to break the rules.
No, I don't want to talk. I don't want to deal with these people. I don't want to talk to them. I want to go on with my thing.
Mm.
So, do you want to discuss? You want to go over some tweets, or do you want to talk about some stuff? Because I have a lineup of things. I know we might not be able to get through all of them today, but I've got some tweets, and then I got what is this one? Oh, do you want to talk about the law that they just passed in California?
Yeah, what law is that?
It's called SB 145. And let me go ahead and pull up the tweet with the law, because I've got a little printout in front of me because I'm like that. And let me go
SB
ahead.
145.
SB 145. So
SB stand for son of a bitch.
exactly. You're gonna be pissed when you see this one. So Bill Meline, he's from Fox LA. He tweeted out, he said, last night, the California state legislature passed SB 145, and it now goes to Gavin Newsom. It would lower the penalties for adults who have sex with willing same-sex minors. Judge could decide if adult has to register as a sex offender if the offender is within 10 years of age of the victim. So basically, if they're willing, if both parties are willing, if the minor is willing, you can basically have an 18-year-old with a 10-year-old if that 10-year-old is willing, and the judge would get to decide if they are a registered sex offender. Because then I'm not a legal expert, but it's talking about a 10-year difference, and it's talking about a minor.
What? In California?
In California, it's going to go to our amazing governor, Gavin Newsom, who has locked everything down. But his wife has beautiful hair. She has no roots. She's blonde. She has no roots. His winery is open, but all the other small restaurants are closed. Bunch of other stuff. So he's a big hypocrite. I'm not a fan of him. I would love to get him recalled.
Where is this bill on the floor?
Huh?
Where is this bill on the floor? Is it with the House? Is it with the Senate? Where is this?
I'm not sure. All I know is that
It didn't get passed, did it?
it did get passed, and it's going to Gavin Newsom, so he can sign off on it. Let me click on the
What?
article. Yeah. His name is Weiner. Legislation seeks to end blatant discrimination in sex offender registry law. A new state bill introduced by Senator of San Francisco, of course it's San Francisco, could possibly change the way young offenders, specifically those who identify as LGBT, are put on the state's sex offender registry list. This was announced Tuesday. Currently, consensual sex between 15 to 17-year-olds and a partner within 10 years of age is illegal. The intercourse between two does not require an offender to register as a sex offender. Other forms of intercourse, such as oral and intercourse, require sex offender registration. So that's the article goes on and on. I'm not going to read the whole
What's
damn
wrong
thing.
with y'all out there? Yeah, what's going on in California? Can we just saw that shit off and just push that shit out into the water?
I mean, this is the thing. There's different ways to look at this, and I remember I was young.
Yeah, I'll take Florida any day over California.
At least in Florida, they're actually going after the pedos and like feeding them to alligators and doing crazy shit like that.
Oh
In
yeah,
California, they want to legalize it.
yeah, they ain't fucking around in Florida.
So this is the thing. When I was generally girls, we date older guys because that's what we do, especially when you're teenagers. So this is the thing. If you're a 16-year-old dating an 18-year-old guy, it's a year and a half, 2 year difference. Okay, maybe, depending on the situation. If you're a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old together, that could be classified as statutory rape. But then again, it's like you have to consider these. But when you're talking about a 10-year gap, that's ridiculous. Like if it was a year gap, I would say, okay, it depends on the situation. Then you should let the judge decide. Because let's say when I'm 16, I'm dating a 17-year-old. My mom was cool with it. His parents were cool with it, and they knew what was going on. Some people are okay with that, and that's fine and dandy. But when you have a 10-year age gap, and my issue with it is that these predators, that's basically giving them guidelines of what they can do and what they can get away with and what they can't, because they're getting a guideline. If I do this, it's in the limits, it's going to be okay.
Mm, 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 mm. Y'all a mess. Y'all an absolute mess out there, y'all. Like the fact that this is even being like allowed.
Terrible. So that's what's going on in beautiful California, and I hope to God that and it's really interesting that it was pushed by someone from the LGBTQ whatever. Well, it wasn't too interesting, but the reason being, a lot of people from that particular group, a lot of them get violated as young kids. Most of my clients had stuff happen to them as young kids. So it's just, if anything, you would want to protect other young kids, wouldn't you, if that happened to you? Unless you're somebody that's actively participating in it. That's the only thing I could think of.
I always say I like to speak on my experiences, and I don't got no LGBT experience, so everything they doing in that environment, that's on them. It's none of my business. It's I do what I do over here, they do what they do over there, and whatever the outcome is, I'm sure they got it under control. Like I don't even try to begin to understand it.
I mean, yeah. So I just wanted to kind of talk about that because it is important to bring awareness to it. So people, anyone that's watching this show, if you guys are in California, make sure you guys write letters and you complain and you talk about it. Because regardless if you have kids or not, it's just not something that you want around you, because the chances are if somebody is doing weird stuff with kids and they're your neighbor and they're not registered as a sex offender, they might come after you too. Anyways, moving on to something else. Moving on. So, what is this? Oh, there's another. This one's
Anthony
a fun.
Weiner,
This one's,
Anthony Weiner, Ghislaine Maxwell.
yeah. Maybe they're related.
That stuff got quiet. Epstein, all that stuff got kind of quiet recently.
It did get kind of quiet. Pretty interesting that nobody is.
Did you see what they just caught? I think it was 40 children in Georgia or something
Which
like
one?
that. 40, I think it was like 40 children in Georgia was found.
Oh yeah,
And
no.
then another set of children was found in Ohio.
Mhm. So because I know you guys think I'm crazy because I'm on TikTok all the time, but the reason why I'm on TikTok is because they're not banning people like a lot of these other social media outlets. And on TikTok, they were like the first to talk about it was on TikTok. And I learned from TikTok that Ohio has the most missing children cases in the United States. There's like 40 kids that go missing in Ohio daily, and they say that Ohio is a place where people get moved, where
Mm,
kids, whatever, are getting moved to other locations to do whatever and getting sold. That's what I heard.
mm, mm. That's wild. Though that's what they do. They try to pluck people from like nondescript places, right? Like, oh, nobody's gonna know this person's missing, right? You just
Yeah,
snatch
no,
it
I
off
mean,
the
especially
farm and shit.
like I don't know. It's just the whole thing is crazy. But you're right. The whole
Mm.
Epstein thing is very quiet right now. A lot of people aren't talking about it. It's like they forgot with COVID. I just
It's just like it's like they're trying to pass this legislation, right? And then you see this occurrence, and so it's kind of like whoever is back there is trying to like not do the whatever it is they're trying to do in private anymore. They're trying to like make it so they can do it in the open.
mm-hmm. No, I know it. It's they're trying to get they are literally trying to get one over on us, and that's why I feel like especially as people, as humans that are not against if you're against this stuff, you need to pipe up, you need to speak up, you need to do something. I'm not saying to take to the streets and be a mess and destroy stuff because that's not to me personally, that's not the way you do it. But there has to be a civil way to change some of this stuff and to, I don't know. I don't know, it's upsetting, but that's why I'm so protective of my daughter. I don't show her face.
Yo, that's what this what it make me do. Just think about my daughter. That's all it do. You know what I'm saying? I'll just be thinking like, nigga, I wish a nigga would. Like,
And you're I think but I mean really all your kids too because it's like you got to just no matter if you got I mean of course like I'm a little bit more protective of my daughter than my
you
boys
know,
because they were bigger like obviously like even though they're big now but when they were little I would be like I would pay attention to where they were and what was going on but when I noticed that when I have a daughter I'm just like very tuned in to what's going on around her. Like I let her say hi to people and wave to people, unless I get a vibe because I'm an empath and I get feelings about different people and stuff. Like if I get a vibe, even if I'm in Target and I haven't finished shopping, I'm out,
mm,
especially when I'm with her. But
mm,
with little girls, you have to I feel like it's a different type of vibe because
mm.
and I feel like I want to say the number of little girls that go missing are higher. But I want to talk about let's talk about let me see. I got a lot of stuff. You want to do some tweets?
Let's do some tweets.
Let's do some
Do some
tweets.
tweets.
Let me pull this one up. This is the thing. I like to go over the tweets because they're always very interesting to me.
They're organic.
They're
They're very
organic
organic.
and they're fun. So I went ahead and I put a post out on August 28th. So last week I said, do you dance? And 50% of people said yes, and 49.2 said no, which was interesting because majority of my followers are male. But Cameron, which is at Hotep Musa, he's a Hotep, so shout out to him. He said, out of nowhere, he said, a woman finds out her ex, who she dumped, is now super successful, in great shape, and with a young, beautiful woman. What goes on in her mind?
He got thinking about my ex-itis.
Is what?
You're not even supposed to be thinking about her. She in the past. You got the new thing. I ain't think about
That's
that
true.
old
But
thing.
I was kind of joking about this. I said I'm happy for them, but my ex stayed with beautiful women even while we were together, which is true. So it was in my face the whole time. But kind of to answer his question, and I want to hear your perspective of it too, because same thing happens with men. Same thing happens with men, but a little bit different. So so if I found out that if my ex that I find a woman finds out her ex who she dumped, if I dumped him and he's now super successful in great shape with a young beautiful woman, me personally, I wouldn't be bothered by it. I would actually be happy for him. I would, if he's happy, he found success, he found, he got in shape, he's with somebody that he loves, that she's good to him, I would be happy. Like, even if I was single, even if I had some reserved feelings about it, my heart would probably be like this. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be happy that he found happiness and peace and stuff because it's not about me. I'm not trying to go in there and wreck that shit.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. I'm happy. Oh, you've done well after me. Oh, that's great. Look at that. Look at that. Look at you go, girl. Like I, like I don't know why people have these emotions. I think it's the attachment, right? Like people get attached to people.
We want what we can't have.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, that's wonderful, man. You got to be happy for people when people do well. The last thing you want is like some dude beating on her, and it's just like your ex is getting beaten on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that's an awkward position to be in, right? Like you should be happy that she's not dealing with some scumbag, right? Like if you actually cared about that person, right? Like
Hmm.
regardless of whatever the relationship is, if you cared about that person, you'd care about their well being and you'd want the best for them. If you're like, if you're holding on to those feelings, like I hope they have a bad relationship and all of that, man, like you really just attacking yourself. Your own vibration is attacking itself. Like that's the thing with the dark side. A lot of power comes with the dark side, but as much as the darkness as you hold is the same amount that's inflicted upon yourself because you have to hold that vibration. In order to emit it, you have to be it. You have to hold. So that low vibration that makes you want to do weird shit like that, like you got to shake that, man.
No, I feel that way too because like you said, we get attached to stuff. We get attached to things, we get attached to people. Like we want what we can't have. And like I talk like I like to kind of think about my dad when I talk about some type of this stuff because he's not here and people that I've loved very much that have passed away. It's like we get attached to those people and the memory of them. And we I feel like some people kind of grieve too hard when they lose somebody that they love that passes away because like for example, and some people that are listening to this, you guys might think I'm crazy, but like when my grandparents died and when my great aunt died, who I love, my great aunt was like my best friend, I was sad. But she was like 85 years old. She had one lung. She was legally blind, like, that type of stuff. She was not in pain anymore. So I feel like people that like want to keep like elderly people on life support or just miserable, like, or
Hmm.
sometimes when people are in comas and stuff, it's very selfish and it's
Hmm.
very like I get you love them and you miss them, but at the same time it's not about you, it's about them. Let them find peace, let their bodies, let their souls not be tormented because could you imagine being like in a
Mm,
bed, being a vegetable in a bed and not being able to move?
mm, mm, mm. It's got to be torturing, just mentally. I always think about like those Black Mirror episodes where they get like trapped in these like you know 3D worlds with nothing to stimulate the mind. It's like it'll make you go crazy. Um, but yeah, man, like you're right. People are being selfish. Let me get in some super chats here. Steph Colonel, $5 super chat. He said, SB145 is sponsored by a dude named Scott Wiener. Enough said. Kent Rowe, 199 super chat. Thank you, bro. He said, Hotep and Bill. Shout out to Ray to hold me down in the chat, modding it up. Appreciate you, homie. Yeah, if you are happy for people, you feel lighter. You start feeling like Muhammad Ali out here, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
You got that.
But when you so stiff and you just want hate on people, it's just like you gotta let that go. You gotta let that go.
Yeah, this is the thing. Once you and I've been doing a lot of letting go of like some of my trauma and my pain, but it's like once you let that stuff go and you realize, hey, this happened, this sucks that it happened. I'm human. I deserve to be sad, to grieve, to have pain, or to miss this person, but it's not about me. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let the person go. Let me heal inside. Focus on doing what you got to do to heal and just, just be. And then you focus on you. It's about, I feel that there's not enough selfless people in the world. And that's a problem. And I feel like there's a lot of people that do stuff for other people. Like, obviously, you get gratification from being selfless, like doing something nice for someone. And that's okay to get gratification. That's why a lot of people like give to charity and they do charity work. That's one of the reasons why I want to volunteer, is not only because I want to help somebody that needs help, because I've been in situations like that, but because it makes you feel good inside to give back. But when you're doing something to get something in return, like people that volunteer or people that donate, so the big, oh, I donated $10,000 so they can go talk about it. It's just like, just say you donated. You don't have to People that do stuff for clout or for expectations back, that's a problem. But when you're doing something and it's selfless,
Yeah.
that's where it's at.
You talking about virtue signaling?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally agree. There's a lot I do in this world, like, and people I help and mentor. It's just not something I feel like, oh, today, this week I mentored two kids, in college, and like, one of them, was a kid out in Texas, and he's done very well for himself. Some great internships over the summer. Um, Caucasian, Italian kid.
My
Um,
people.
Word, word. It's my homie. He knows who he is. But yeah, I mentor. I've Halima. I believe she's 28, out of Canada. She runs Afrobiz World. We spoke last week. But it's just like, like I see a lot of people go online and they talk about all this stuff they do. And it's just like I don't even think about that stuff, right? I just do, right? Like whatever I share with Twitter is just like the spur of the moment, like whatever's on my mind. Like, yo, I was thinking this. Let me share this with the world. But I don't know, like the virtue signaling thing. Anything for clout, I guess. Anything for clout. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, earlier today, I got somebody that I was in a group chat with. I forget where it was. It was on Telegram because I'm in like 55 million chats. People add me to their chats, which that's fine. I'm grateful for. But somebody added me. They're like, "Hey, Wendy," and I says, "Yeah." They go, "You made me rich," and I go, "Okay." I was like, "What did I do?" He's like, "I made $7,000 because I watched one of your shows and one of the coins that somebody talk about, I bought it and I made $7,000." And he's like, "Thank you." And he's like, I was like, "That's awesome. Congratulations." I was like, "I didn't do anything though." He's all, "No, you did because you have this person on your show. So thank you." So I get messages like that. And, it feels good. Like it was just out of
Yeah.
nowhere, but I'm not going to be posting on it on Twitter like, "Oh my God, like look what I did." There is one particular comment that I am going to post. And the reason why I'm going to post is kind of to a big FU to all of the one percenters of Bitcoin and crypto Twitter. And the reason being is on my live stream, I've got a lot of different people that pop in from all different backgrounds. And these boys, I can tell they were from the streets. The way they were talking to me, I told them I was going to throw my chancla at them because they were getting a little bit ratchet in the chat. So they said, "Wendy, I wanted to tell you," they said something along the lines, and this is not word for word. They said, "I want to tell you I appreciate you and that you appeal to the Black community, to the Latino community, and maybe even the Asian community. There's like," and he said there's not a lot of YouTubers that appeal to anybody else other than the white community. So thank you. And I said, "You're welcome." And I said, and then I told the story that I don't care who you are, where you come from. If you're a good person, you want to make money with me, you want to do well, I got you. DM me, we'll talk. I join my chat. But it was just a really nice thing to hear because majority of the YouTubers are white dudes, and they don't take into consideration that there's other people from other backgrounds that are watching. And
So how
and
does one cater to the black crowd?
huh?
How does one cater to, let's say, a black crowd or one of these other
I don't know.
crowds?
I don't know. I the only I like I don't
You
when I
just got, I think maybe you got just a little swag to you that just, you saying these white dudes is stiff.
they are stiff.
They're stiff. They ain't having no fun out here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't say it today I'm going to reach a black person. Today I'm going to reach a Caucasian person. Today I'm going to reach Latino person. I'm just like I'm just out there. I'm just me, and I'm not like I don't have a specific group of people, or I'm not like today I'm going to reach an Asian female that is 18 to 24. I just say I post whatever the hell I want. I talk about whatever I want on my show, and if people like it, great. If they don't like it, goodbye. I don't care. So I don't want to cater to like a specific group or anybody. I just want to be me, and if people jive with it, then jive with me. If not, then go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what's up, though, man. You getting love from the POCs, man. Halima, she said, there she go. She said, thanks for the mention of Hotep Jesus, Yah Rock. In Islamic philosophy, anonymity in donation attains highest reward in afterlife.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to heaven. I'm not coming back to this world.
He said, the more one shares, the level of reward deducts. I like that. I like
I can
that.
I can get behind that.
I like that.
Oops. Hold on, let me go here. All right. Okay, because I want to see the super chat too. All right. Let me see. Okay. Let's go over because we're gonna cut the episode a little short tonight because we both got some things we got to do. So let's go over like two more tweets. I think
All right, let's do it.
let's do that. So let me go to my word doc because I'm very organized. I'm being a
All
Karen right now with my organization. All right. Oh, this one's a good one. This one is a good one. You're going to like this one. This one's going to be really funny. Maybe we'll just cover this one because it might be really a lot to talk about. This one's going to be
right.
funny. And I can't wait to see your reaction to this one, to be honest. So, my buddy Dan, he posted the other day, he says 129 ways to get a husband from a vintage magazine. He said, my favorite one is stand in the corner and cry softly. But basically, he was able to pull this article and it has, it was like in a Cosmo or something way back when, but it has 129 ways to get a husband from 100, from whatever, 19, whatever. I'm going to read a couple of them to you. I want you to rate them because I think it's funny.
Rate them how?
So one of them says, be nice to everybody. They may have an eligible brother or son.
Yeah, I mean, I sure, yeah, that's
Okay.
good. I'll give
Then
that one a
other one,
five.
where did it go? Here we go. All right. And then another one said, get a government job overseas.
What? Well, actually, that is kind of true. Like I always said to some people, I'm like, yo, your soulmate is not in America.
Mhm.
I've said that before. So I could see that. Yeah, we'll give that one a five.
Volunteer for jury duty.
Volunteer for jury duty. Really? Picking
I
guys
guess
out
that's
at
how you met
jury
men back
duty?
in the 50s or 60s.
Hmm. I guess so. I know when I went to jury duty, I was trying to get out of there as fast as possible.
Oh my God, this one is so funny. This is terrible. Oh my God. Be friendly to ugly men. Handsome is as handsome does.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've had a lot of acquaintances who weren't too pretty. It's about what's inside.
My mom told me this. Well, she told me this when I was young, and I didn't listen. And I'm glad. It doesn't matter. But she says she's like Mary. She's like if you fall in love with. She's like it doesn't matter. She said something about falling in love with someone with money. That she's like they don't have to be very attractive. Fall in love with somebody with money. They'll take good care of you. Because I think that she just didn't want to deal with the stuff that happened with my dad, even though my dad did have money. But I did
Mm.
the opposite. I married somebody but it was very poor. We came up together from the streets and we're very happy.
Well, that's the other way to do it. That's the other way to do it. Get a partner. You
Yeah.
got a partner, can't nobody stop you.
He's my ride or die, let me tell you, because uh, I don't talk to him after 6 p.m. because he gets really tired and crabby.
Well, if you go the other way, that's when the dudes start beating on you because he feel like,
That's yeah.
like what you gonna do? Like I pay for everything, like where you gonna go? Where you gonna live, right? And that's like the type of stuff they use to like beat women and shit.
Well, an interesting story about that is that I posted like because there's all my trader friends are all flexing their watches and all these really amazing things that they bought from trading, which that's cool, that's awesome. But at the end of the day, I'll post under it and I'll be like, I would never ever go out on a date with a man with money. I actually, before I was married, there was a couple men that were trying to court me that had money and had good jobs. This was when I was like 18, 19. And I just was like, ugh, I didn't want anything to do with them. No, and then the reason why is because they wanted me to be an arm piece, and I didn't want to be an arm piece. I didn't want to be somebody's like arm piece that they would just take me places and just have me just be super pretty and like wear this or super cute, whatever, just like like and not pay attention to me, that I didn't want that. I wanted somebody that I can have passion with and be in love with.
Yeah, yeah. No, I gotta commend you for that. Because there's a lot of people out here that are taking the other road.
Well, they can have all the girls can have all the rich men. I'm happy with what I got.
Yeah, they're gonna be broke in a few years anyway.
All right, here's another one. Ooh, d- don't take a job in a company don't take a job in a company run largely by women.
Oh damn. Well, I guess if you're looking for a husband, that makes sense, right?
Well, and women are very jealous of other women. Ooh,
Yeah.
this is a good one. Get a job demonstrating fishing tackle in a sporting goods store.
Fishing tackle. Yeah, you're gonna run into a lot of male traffic.
Hey, you know, this is good advice. Ooh, on a plane, train, or bus, don't sit next to a woman, sit next to a man.
How do you pick that out? On a plane, on a train, okay. And then like, oh, sit next to him. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, yeah, I guess that makes sense. He's just as creepy though.
Oh my
He's
God,
like,
this one's terrible. Go to all reunions of your high school or college class. There may be widowers there.
damn, desperate.
Oof, man. Well, if you're over, hey, back in the 50s, wherever the hell this was, probably the 50s, if you're over 20 and not married, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh my God, this one, these are, I have to go through all of these. I'm sorry. The next one, don't be afraid to associate with more attractive girls. They may have some leftovers.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, you can get some scrappy leftovers, I'm sure.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Go back to your hometown for a visit. The wild kid next door may have become a very eligible bachelor while you were away.
God damn, these women are desperate, yo. We gotta rate these on like level of desperation. That's how we gotta rate these. Like how desperate are you?
Ooh, this is actually probably the best advice here. Do not room with a girl who is a sad sack and let her pull you down to her level.
Absolutely. That's a good one. That's just brilliantly smart. They talk about that. Napoleon Hill talks about that. Don't stay around unhappy people. I've been around unhappy people. They're the worst.
That negative energy pull you
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
All right, the next one. Get a part-time job in a convention bureau.
Part-time job at a convention bureau. What the fuck is that?
You're going to get a lot of men that come fly from out of town for the weekend. You can meet somebody, he will whisk you away and take you back to a New York penthouse for a
Desperate.
romantic weekend.
Desperate.
All right, that one was dumb. What about this one?
That one was
When
desperate.
traveling, stay at small hotels where it is easier to meet strangers. That's true.
Desperate.
That's a little scary though.
Desperate.
Oh my God, this one is so desperate. Oh my God, oh my God. Learn to paint. Set up an easel outside of an engineering school.
Desperate. That's
All
just,
right.
yeah, that's desperate.
How to let him know you're there. I'm going to read a couple of these.
Oh boy.
Stumble when you walk into a room that he's in.
Desperate.
Oh man. Forget discretion every once in a while and call him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, shit. You gonna have to call me because I ain't calling your ass. Have you read the Unbreakable Rules of Masculinity? I'm not calling you. I'm not contacting you. I'm not texting you.
Ooh. How to let him know you make a lot of money. That's true. Nothing
Yeah,
well,
that'll
that,
work for anybody.
that's a double-edged sword.
Why? You might get some bums.
No, if you make a lot of money, some men are intimidated by that.
Well, then you ain't getting a man then. So you win. You win anyway. You just kind of weed out the.
Me personally, I want to be as successful as possible, and I just want to grind. I think that women should, if a woman's working, she should aspire to be the best that she could be.
I think a woman should be butt naked with a baby in her belly, cheering her man on. That's the best place for a woman.
If you're married with, if you already got your man, that's fine. But we don't want no,
The men suck these days. That's why women have to like step up.
that's true. There's not a lot.
Masculinity has been stripped that women have had to step up and like become a part of the intellectual society because men didn't know how to do it in tandem with women. Or I should say European men didn't know how to do that in tandem with. See, there's a way to use the spiritual mind of the woman. Spiritual mind of the woman in corporate. I don't know if you ever noticed, but usually you see a lot of them in like advertising and marketing, especially in the retail.
Mhm.
Lot of women over there. A lot of women dominate these spaces. You know, and they talk about like pay gaps. Oh, women get paid stupid money in those different, categories. But there's a way to use female energy in tandem with masculine energy. The problem is, I think a lot of women go into masculine fields. For some of them, it's good. Some of them, it's just like, you ain't built for this.
It's like you talked about this in a previous episode, but the yin and the yang. If you can figure out how um, to complement the opposite sex or your business partner well. And somebody on TikTok was also talking about this. She said something about the most successful companies, if you look at them, something that she tracks. I forgot who it was on TikTok, but she said the most successful companies are generally have a strong male and a strong female lead, and they complement each other really, really well. That's what she said. So that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes the male's not the lead, the female's the lead. But usually you can't. Usually you can't have two leaders unless these leaders are just um, operating on a plane of higher consciousness. You'd have to be more conscious and cognitive of each other, and the egos would have to subside. You
That's
could have
true.
two leaders, but you can't. Usually, you need one person. Like,
Back in, you probably know this. Oh, well, maybe I think you would. But back in history, throughout history, we saw a lot of very, everybody, all the rulers were male, but they didn't, and there was a lot of powerful women that were kind of back them. Do you think a lot of these men were so successful in power because they had a strong female counterpart that kind of had their back?
Alexander the Great was coached by his mama.
Well, there you go.
The reason why his legacy even is scribed in history so well is because of his mama. His mama was the mind behind his strategy into even just getting the crown because he had a brother and he was the one. But his mother loved him. But yeah, that there's several cases of the woman being that mind in the back. That's how I want to say the Lenape, but several Native American tribes. That's how they operated, where women operated like the Senate. In fact, that's where we get our structure of government from. The women were actually the Senate, and the men were actually like the House of Representatives. And the
Mm.
men kind of like toiled over stuff, and then like the final decision went to women. Was like, "What y'all think about this shit?" And they were like, fix this up, do this, that, and like, yeah, you got some good ideas. I'll be right back. And then we fix them, get it back, and they're like, all right, perfect. That's the way you're supposed to use women, like that final touch, right? And you even see how they curate parties and such, right? Women
Hmm.
are good at curating and adding that feminine touch to things, and I think that's how we should use them.
Well, at least in my family, the women kept the families together. Well, two things. Once my dad died, because my dad was the alpha of the family. He was the oldest brother. He made the most money. He was the most successful. Had multiple businesses. Very, very smart. Very just everything. Total package. When he passed away, the family deteriorated. And the family stayed to get parts of the family stayed together because of my mother, because my mom always made sure to have family dinners, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and invite everybody, and whoever came would come. But part of the reason why a lot of families stay together, or even after men get married, is because of the woman, because of the wife. And I took what my mom showed me. And like with my man, when we have a holiday or where there's a birthday party, his kids we're always invited. The way my husband is, he's very masculine. He's an alpha, and he calls and he talks to both his boys, a couple times a week. Maybe 5 times a week, a lot. But if they don't come see him all the time, he's not going to be upset or sad. But I made it a point to be like, no, you need to tell them it's Christmas. Like, we need to either get them Thanksgiving or Christmas, or they need to come see us. So I made it a point to make sure that they were always invited. They always felt welcome to all the family functions. And his oldest son tells me, he goes, Mom, thank you so much for doing that. Like, he recognized that. He's like, I got, he's like, I got to spend a lot of time with my grandma and a lot of time with this person, and da 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 da, because you had these parties or the events or whatever, and they weren't super fancy. It was just like, I like for Christmas or whatever. As I'm not the best. We know Wendy is not the best cook. Okay, we know.
Chicken and beans.
But for Christmas, I would do like a ham, and I do some white people food. But it's not about it. It's not about that. It's about bringing everybody together.
And I think women do a great job of that. I think that, we do a family reunion every year, and that's largely organized by women. Women are great in that organizational role. I think the way the world is now is because of how women were treated for the past 500 years, especially under Victorian rule, the Puritan rule. All these ages. Um, Terrible, 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 terrible way to treat women. We even see it in some of the other nations in the Middle East, how
Hmm.
women are suppressed. Calamity runs on the earth when the feminine energy is suppressed, man. Everything just turns to shit.
Let me tell you something that, like, with all this crazy political stuff going on, I mean, America is not perfect, but I am so thankful to be a woman in America than be a woman in some nation or country or city outside of America, to where the men are just doing terrible things to them and forcing them to do things, and they're marrying them off at a young age, and they're forcing them to wear specific things, and they're telling them they can't drive or telling them they can't work or they can't go to the store. Like, does that still exist? That exists in a lot of different countries and all different types of places. But in America, yes, I'm not saying that that doesn't happen here, because there are, there's always a caveat. But for the most part, if you're a woman and you want to go get a job somewhere, if you want to go, you can leave your home, your small town, go to LA and get a job.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's why everybody's so disappointed at where America's going right now, is because we have something great, and it's we're losing those freedoms. Those freedoms that we have is just becoming harder and harder.
Back to our list, because we're almost done.
All right, let's do it.
I gotta finish this, because now that
Let's
we
do it.
started. All right,
Yeah.
so learn several funny stories and tell them to him well, but make sure you don't tell it to him more than once.
Well, stories are just great. Period. I think people need to learn how to tell stories and learn stories and memorize stories. Stories are a great way to learn. Um, I tell stories sometimes to get my point across. Um, I think I don't know if it's like sit down and like try to memorize stories. I think it's we come across stories all the time. So I think it's about cataloging our favorite ones in our mind, right? And saying, "Oh, I like that story," like the scorpion and the frog. Like everybody's got another scorpion and a frog, or like that's
Hmm.
got to be one that you can, pull out, and Aesop's fables, all of those stories, and um, yeah, they're just great way to communicate.
Well, if you look at all the cultures of the world, they all have their own wives' tales and their stories that were
Mhm.
passed down from generation to generation. I feel like that's with dance too, because same thing. There's dances that are passed down from all of the or chanting or whatever it is, and I feel like humans, it's just part of our who we are, or being, just to pass things down. It's just is who we are. Next one, number 37. Walk up to him and tell him you need some advice.
Oh, yes, yes. Um, I think a lot of women are afraid of that. A lot of women are afraid to ask for advice because they might get like criticism and stuff like that. Nah, that's a great one. That's a great one. But I think that's a unisex type thing. I think all people need to learn how to approach people and ask for advice.
I actually like that one the best, because men like to feel that if you ladies, if you're watching this, you got to get an alpha man. The reason why you need an alpha man is because they will hold it down for you. And me personally, it's in my nature. Like, I'm a very strong, independent woman, but at the same time, I need someone to match that energy with me. But men love to, especially alpha men, they love to feel like they're contributing and that they're like that their opinion matters and that they're valuable. It makes them puff their chest up. And if you make your man feel like a man, he will take care of you. He'll make you happy.
That's absolutely true. That's 100% true. That we're hardwired to respond to that. We're hardwired to respond to the request of a woman.
Mm-hmm. And people will say this a lot. Like, this term is okay to use, not in this particular case, but a lot of people will say, call a guy Captain Save-A-Ho if he's like there for a woman or whatever. But at the
Mm.
end of the day, they're like rescuers, they're champions. They will stop and they will help another human being, and it gives them that natural high, like that pounding of the chest. Like, it just makes you feel good when you're able to, like, walk a little old lady across the street or open a door for somebody. Men like to do that. So the last one, don't let him fish for your name the next time you meet. None of this guess who stuff.
What does that mean? Fish for your name.
Probably when you see him. So let's say you go to a bar and you see a woman,
Mm-hmm.
or you see a man, and like, you guys had talked before, but maybe he's forgotten your name because it's at a bar, it's late at night. So I
Mm.
guess maybe walk up to him and introduce yourself. Be like, oh, hi, I am X, Y, and Z. We met last week. So don't have him guess your name. Just go up and tell it to him.
Okay, okay. Take that off him. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Help me out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's very like forward and polite. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, that's not desperate at all. I like
So
that.
I think the best piece of advice from this that we can all that you and I can at least both agree on is walk up to him and tell him you need some advice.
Yeah, yeah. That's always a good icebreaker. Um, if you're asking good advice, right? Like, because sometimes you can ask people a question and it's just like go Google it, right? Like, don't ask me Google questions. Don't ask me like that's my rule. Don't ask me anything you can Google, right?
You know what you ask them? If you are a smart woman and you want to court a guy, or you want a guy to court you, you will find out what he likes, what he's passionate about, and then you'll ask him for advice on that particular topic.
Absolutely. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. That's exact. I said that. I had another stream with another relationship coach, and she actually missed that question. But that's damn sure right. That's exactly what you got to know. What makes that man tick? And if there's nothing in this world that makes that man tick, you got to get a new man. Like if it's video games, he better be like you know a streamer on you know what I mean on Twitch and getting that money, right? Like it's sports, he better be the best goddamn gambler, but don't like he's got to have something that's like something that's constructive, right? Something that's wholesome, something that's healthy that holds his attention, and because men want to know you care about their shit,
Mm-hmm.
they want to know you care about the stuff that they're passionate about. And that's a big one. I think that's the biggest thing you could do to a man to pump his
So
ego.
remember when I told you the first date that I went on with my man is, I think I texted him because I was bored. Something happened, but the first date we went on, he's like, I can't take you out. I've got my kids, and I said, I'll go with you. Like, let's go
Oh
hang out with the
yeah,
kids.
yeah.
That right there was a power move, because I knew he loved his kids. I like kids too, but I knew he loved his kids, and if I wanted to bag the man,
You was
that
gonna have to deal with that anyway, so you got that nut cracked on the first date. Like
exactly. That
that's
was a power move. The man loved
yeah.
ladies, if you're watching this, and if you want a man with kids to court you. Of course, he's not supposed to be in a relationship. He's got to be single. But because cuz let me tell you, if me and my man ever separate, if we are separated and you try to
Uh
court him, we're still together, okay? I'm coming for you. You can have my exes, but not my man, not my baby daddy.
oh. And she training too. She training with a black lady in the gym. So y'all better be careful, ladies.
So, what you do, ladies, if he's got kids and the relationship is completely over with him and baby mom, what you do is, when you guys are talking, bring up the kids, be interested in the kids. Of course, if you really are interested. If you're not interested about kids, go find someone else.
Yeah,
But that's how you get to his heart, is kind of from the kids. Is if you love kids and you're interested in being a part of these kids' life and you want him to court you, go on that first date with the kids, because and find out if the kids are fucking brats or not, because they're brats.
You get out of there early.
You better get out of there early, because let me tell you, I'm blessed because my boys, they're good. They're very, very good. They've always respected me, but some people's kids are nightmares. And that's not a problem you want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Real talk. Real talk. I got angels. Anybody see me? I'm like, oh my god, your children are so good. I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, I remember your boys, when they came in that one time, they're like kind of shocked that you called them in. So they're like,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course, my daughter, she's climbing all over the damn couch.
Oh yeah. I mean, at that age, yeah, they probably would have been bugging. But at that age, they're exploring. You got to let them do that. They're exploring.
What my daughter said about you the other day?
Uh oh.
She goes, I forget what happened, because me and her, we talk about, we say that adults are supposed to protect kids and da 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 da. She goes, Mama, Hotep's your friend, and you're and Daddy's friend. And I says, yeah. And she goes, will Hotep protect me too? And I says, yes, Hotep's mommy's friend, and he would protect you too, baby.
Yes, I would. I got her back. Tell her, don't worry. Hotep Jesus is here. Let her know. Yes, I got her back.
She's funny. She probably won't bring you up for like a month or two, and then out of nowhere she'll be like, "Oh, is that your friend?" Where she's like, "Where's Hotep Jesus, Mama?"
I love it, yo. I love it, yo. Gotta listen to the kids, man.
You
Gotta
got
listen to the
to. You
kids.
got to. So we're gonna get going now, and then I'm gonna come back next Wednesday. We're gonna go over, because I like going over the tweets. It's a fun thing to do
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's organic, man. It's real natural.
next week. So if you guys are watching this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, set alerts, tip Hotep. Got to tip the Hotep. And then you got what? Do you want to announce any other media that you're doing this week?
One last super chat here, Natasha Kayleen. Thank you. She said $3. She said, super love. Y'all stopping through to say howdy, howdy, what up? Um, Tomorrow, Hotep's been told you. With Uncle Hotep. Y'all know what time it is, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Friday, I'm interviewing Uncle Hotep. So that's gonna be lit.
Yes.
So yeah, and then Saturday we move into the Mogul Summit. That's my private group of moguls where we sit down and we talk business. It's $97 to get in that program a month. Best thing in the streets. And then Sunday I'm relaxing with the fam. We got a tournament. I'm coaching kids ball. Well, assistant coaching for this team. It's two teams. So yeah, got a busy week, man. Busy week.
Awesome. Well, again, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and comment, so that helps that algorithm. Have a good evening, and I'll
All right.
catch you next Wednesday, 9:30
Yeah. See you next
p.m.
one.
ET.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.